The interaction techniques that are used in tabletop groupware systems can affect users' abilities to track others' actions and can have a corresponding impact on the way people are able to coordinate their activities. However, very little is known about how the different characteristics of the interaction techniques affect coordination in groups. In this video, we present the results of a study where we examine the relationship between tabletop interaction techniques and group coordination and conflict. We included 5 interaction techniques in the study. We selected techniques with a range of input and output characteristics. In drag and drop, users touch objects with the stylus and move them by dragging them through the workspace. Objects can be rotated by twisting the stylus. Radar provides users with a miniature version of the workspace that they can use to manipulate objects. In our telepointer implementation, users move the stylus locally to reach across the table. The user's stylus is active when it is moved in the gray rectangle shown here, and stylus movements are amplified so that users can reach across the table using small stylus movements. The pantograph technique is identical to the telepointer technique, except a colored line connects the physical position of the user with the position of the pointer. In the laser beam technique, users move their pointer by aiming the tip of the stylus at the table surface. To click on an item, the user presses the button on the stylus. We used 2 tabletop groupware systems in our study, and we added all 5 techniques to both applications. The first application is a cooperative game, where users are awarded extra points for working together and for synchronizing their actions. The second application allows users to build storyboard sequences using images and freehand drawings. 10 groups participated in our study, with 5 groups using each application type. Each group used all 5 techniques. In the rest of the video, we discuss the results of the study. The system logs recorded conflicts, where 2 users tried to access the same object at the same time. In the graph, we show the average number of conflicts that were seen in the game application per 1,000 interactions. There are markedly more conflicts with radar than with the other techniques. Participants indicated that conflicts were more common with radar since they couldn't see others' movements. Our implementation allowed users to see others' pointers in their radar view, but the conflicts were still common. In post-experiment questionnaires, participants ranked the techniques according to how effectively they allowed them to transfer items to others. Drag and drop and pantograph were ranked the highest, and the other 3 techniques had similar and lower rankings. When we analyzed videos from the study, we found that people carried out more individual work with radar and with telepointer. Here we show that people did not routinely exchange objects using these techniques. We saw a dramatic difference with drag and drop in that people regularly handed objects to others. Here the person on the right transfers green objects to the person at the top of the table. This pattern was common in all groups and in both applications. We logged users' movements during the trials and created maps to indicate the frequency with which they reached into different regions of the table. Here we show maps for the game application. A different color is used for each user. The green user sat at the top, red at the left, and blue at the right. Areas with a high concentration of specific color were frequently accessed by that user. With drag and drop and laser beam, participants' movements were usually restricted to their local workspace, even though laser beam allows reaching across the table. We saw surprising differences between telepointer and pantograph. Both techniques use an identical algorithm, but pantograph adds a line from the pointer to the user's physical position. In pantograph, users' movements are focused around their local workspace, unlike movements with the telepointer. We asked participants to rank the techniques according to their preferences. The rankings varied significantly according to the application that participants used, even though the technique implementations were the same in both applications. The most dramatic difference was seen in the radar technique, where it was highly ranked by those playing the game, but it received a low ranking by those using the storyboard application. In the game, people were able to carry out the activity successfully without physically watching others. Here, we show how users were able to watch their local radar view and were still able to coordinate their action verbally. In the storyboard application, the activity was less constrained, and participants found that focusing on the radar view was detrimental to the activity. Here we show how participants often switched between the radar view and the larger workspace, so that they could better understand the state of the task and others' actions. Our results show that the choice of interaction technique used in tabletop groupware can affect the way users work together in groups. Each technique in our study has different strengths and limitations. Furthermore, our results suggest that each technique may be more useful in some cooperative tasks than in others.